Good
Good
morning,
morning.
everyone. Hello,
Uh,
Sebastian.
Good morning, Sonia. Good morning, everyone in the chat.
Yeah, everyone. So welcome to this new webinar, the last of 2023. We're just going to wait a few seconds to let people sit comfortably. So we have people from a bit around the globe, I think. So today we're going to be talking about exporting data within Store Commander. So that will be product, order, and customers. We're going to see that in a minute. I think everybody's here. I'm just going to start the webinar now. So this is the welcome page, and we have today Sebastian with us, of course, as always. Thank you,
As
Sebastian.
always.
So we're going to be talking about exporting. So I will be presenting this session, and Sebastian will be answering any of your questions in either on a chat, but you also have a question tab, which is better to ask your questions that will be replying after the session. We'll have a question time. Otherwise, in the chat, you might get lost in all the threads. So it's better to use the question tab at the bottom right of your screen. I'm just going to slide. So the contents. So we're going to be reviewing quickly what Store Commander is as a recap, what we'll be covering in this webinar, and then we'll have a question time session afterwards. And I will be doing it. Sebastian is a little bit ill today, so he's got sore throat. Yep. So he's still going to be helping a little bit and participating, but please excuse Sebastian for not participating as much as he would like to.
I've got a bit of a cold, as you can tell, I guess.
Yeah, we can hear it, no problem. But don't worry, Sebastian. So if you just add to the chat, then that would be fine. Don't worry.
Yep.
So let's start with a recap of what is Store Commander. Store Commander is a tool that you install in your back office that will help you manage your PrestaShop store. So that includes your product catalog, as well as orders and customers. We have an interface that has 3 columns, which is your navigation within your catalog. And we have, of course, all the functionality to make modifications in bulk on products, orders, and customers as well. So very easy to use, and you will use that on a daily basis, of course, because you can update, modify, create products, and manage your orders and your customers' data as well within Store Commander as on a daily basis. So when we talk about Store Commander, we always refer to 4 main points. The first one is the mass management of your data, because you can create products, you can modify products. So that goes to images, prices, promotion, etc., etc. The second point is import and export. So export, we're going to be seeing that in a minute, but you can also import data. So you can also import CSV files to create new products, but also to modify. So if you want to update in bulk your prices, for example, you can use a CSV file to do that. And the export will do that in a minute. The third point is product discount. Indeed, within Store Commander, you can set up your promotional campaigns very easily on a selection of products, so either category by category or the full product catalog as well. You can control your margins as well. We have options for you to set up your margin in Store Commander and round up prices as well if need be. And the fourth point, so the last but not least, of course, you can work, if you have a PrestaShop in multi-store mode, you can use Store Commander to really ease the management of all the products within your different shops. So that's a must-have when you have a PrestaShop in multi-store mode. And of course, this is the 4 main points, but of course, we have much more functionalities to help you manage your PrestaShop store very easily on a daily basis. Do note that if you haven't yet installed Store Commander, you can have like a 7 days free trial period when you first install the module. And if you ever need help or answer to your questions or any assistance, we also have, of course, the support team. So that would be Sebastian here. We also have Maite, who joined us a few weeks ago, and myself if need be. You will see on your Store Commander interface a little red bubble on the bottom right of your screen, which is the our chat system. So there is no robot behind it, just people. So that would be Maite, Sebastian, and myself, and sometimes other people who come and join us to help us out. So don't hesitate to contact us if you need anything.
Yep, and there's always a possibility to try out the module, creating a virtual shop as well, which is free, completely free.
That's right. That's right. You can.
And I'm gonna put the link in the. Yep, I'm gonna put the link in the chat.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Just keep an eye on the chat, indeed, because Sebastian will be adding some useful links for you. Okay, so what we'll see in this webinar, so we're going to start by seeing how you can export product information. If you want to, in case of like you're doing a store migration for like one PrestaShop for another, or to export product SEO information to optimize the SEO on your product, or to carry out an inventory if you want to export all the stock or the prices, eventually if you want to rework them in order to import afterwards. We'll be seeing afterwards the order side, so how you can export your order information if you want to do some statistics or some accounting as well, because we can export all the order data from the database. But we'll see that in details in a minute. And the same thing with the customer information. We also have a tool for you to export the information related to your customers, if you want to do marketing actions or get information to feed the CRM, etc. And after that, we'll have the question time. So that's it. That will be the question time afterwards. So I'm going to swap my screen so I can go onto a PrestaShop back office. So this one is in French, but it will be the same in English, of course. And once the Store Commander is installed, it will be accessible in the modules menu on the left-hand side. Simply click on it and it will open up. So it will open up on the product catalog by default, but you have the tab to go to orders and customers here. So let's start with the product information that you want to extract and extract onto a file such as an Excel file. The first thing is when you select a category, in the central columns, I'm just going to open up a little wider. I hope that everybody can see it clearly. We're a bit like Excel. We have columns and lines. So we have different type of fields in different type of views. So you can swap your display by changing the view. And if you want to export that information, we have this icon on the toolbar, which we call the quick export, because if I click on it, that little window here includes the information I have in the grid in the back. And I simply have to do a copy, so Control-C on my keyboard. And then if I open up an Excel, I just paste. And now I have the Store Commander grid at the back in Excel. So it's very quick export, copy paste. Of course, in that grid, there are information that I don't want, or on the opposite, I want information in that grid. So you can either swap the view here, or you can use the interface customization tool to customize your view. So you can add fields or remove fields. And even better, you can create your own views. On my demo here, I have a view for Bob, for example, who has that view has only the barcodes and the reference. I can add to it if I want, but if I just want to export this information, so of a specific category, or I can also display the full list of products. So I've got my whole catalog here in a specific view, and then I can simply click on here, copy and paste. So this is a quick export, the easiest way to export your product information onto Excel. You will find this CSV export, function in all the toolbars, and you will also find them in some of the properties panel here, especially the combination. So if you work on combination, let me select product with combination like here. I have a full view of the combination of a product, and I can also copy and paste this grid into Excel. It's also available in the interface customization, so you can remove columns, change the order, if you want to personalize your combinations grid. If you select multiple products, then we swap onto the multi-product combination. So you have all the combinations of multiple products, so you can work even more in bulk. And again, copy and paste into Excel. So that's the first really easy option for you to extract your product information onto a spreadsheet. So I'm talking about Excel, but you have OpenOffice or anything. It's just a simple copy and paste. We also have, if you want to do an export a little bit more customized, we have in the catalog menu the CSV export tool. So this one is you decide what you're going to be exporting of what product. So this is really the export tool. So I'm just going to open up in big so you can see all of it. So this is the CSV export panel when we have at the top the list of scripts that already exist. So we call it script because this line is called a script, because when you start the export by clicking on the button here, we will take everything that's selected on that line. So when you create your export, you have to fill all these columns. And when you start the export, we'll be taking all that information to put that onto a CSV file. So there are a few steps. I think we have a tutorial on our website. So on the knowledge base, so Sebastian will be adding the link to that tutorial. But if I create a script, so I click on the plus here, I'm just going to call it webinar up. So I've got my line of my script and it's empty. So I need to fill in every single columns to be able to get that information onto a CSV file. The first column is the mapping, which is that panel here. The second one is the categories, which is that panel here. So we need to first set up the mapping, first set up the selection of categories, give it a name, a few options, but it's just like a couple of few options really if you need to export disable products, etc. And then you can export by clicking on the button here. So the mapping corresponds to the fields that you want to export: product name, reference, prices, SEO information like meta fields, etc., metadata. So in this example, I'm going to export the SEO information, for example. So I want to export the ID product, the product name, the meta title, and the meta description. So I need 4 fields. So I need 4 fields. Therefore, I can click on the plus here, and I need 4 lines. This adds my 4 lines. And in the column called database fields, this is where I double click to display the full list of all the fields that can be exported. So it's like everything can be exported on product information. And then you select, so I'm going to use my keyboard to look for the information I want to include in my mapping. So the product, I said the name, the meta title, and the meta description. And then we've got a few other columns that I need to complete. So like the language, for example, because I've got multiple languages in my shop. So I can also export all the information in different languages. So if I want to optimize even more my SEO information on my shop, I can export meta title, meta description in all languages. I will rework that information in Excel and then import it to apply that those modifications. So it's very easy. So here I'm going to do it in English, meta title in English, and meta description in English as well. When I've set up this information, I can save it. I'm just going to call it SEO. And once I save it, this means I can reuse it because I've got it in the list here, but I can associate it to my script at the top here. I double click to have the list of mapping already created, and I can select it here. And I do the same for the categories. What products do I want to export? The one of these categories or the shop? So it's recursive, so I can select the home page. Sorry, it's in French. It should have been in English, but it's in French for now, but never mind. It will still be the home and all the categories. And I save it as well, so I give it a name as well. And same again, as soon as I save it, I can select it at the top in my columns, categories to export. So I can create different mappings, different selection of categories, and then once I create a script, I can mix and match my mapping and my categories because they already exist here. If I close that window and come back in, they will still be here because I saved them. So I can do a mix and match of different mappings and categories as well. And the last one is the name of the export file. So I'm just going to create SEO CSV, which is easy. I just keep the same name, but you can do, of course, give whatever name. And then you have a few options here, but they will be explained in the article that Sebastian added to the chat, I think. Yeah, it is here.
It is.
Yeah. So the most important information for you, I think, is the export combination, whether you're going to export product in combination information or not. In this instance, I only have product information, meta title and meta description, so I don't need to have this option ticked. On the other hand, if I wanted to export prices, for example, and I want prices associated to combination, therefore I will tick that box. So that is really the option that will that you will need to tick or untick. But otherwise, disable products, product without stock, export by category, default category. This is really specific. If you want everything, just tick all the boxes. So and if you need more information, then you have that little bubble at the bottom right. So don't hesitate to send us a message if you want to have a little more information on these options for your specific needs. The interesting thing in the mapping, because the goal of exporting with Store Commander is once you have your CSV file, is just perfect. You don't need to add modifications to it. Okay, so for example, if you wanted to export information to provide to a marketplace, for example, if you export, I'm just going to add the field, the reference, for example, the PrestaShop name of that field is reference, but for some marketplaces, the name of that field is SKU. So therefore, instead of exporting that file and then having to change the title of your columns, you can do that beforehand in Store Commander in that mapping, because we have a field called column name. If I double click, this is what I'm just going to do, SKU. So I can rename my columns so that I don't have to do that afterwards. So we're saving you even more time by allowing you to customize your mapping. So the information on of your CSV beforehand. The very interesting thing is the modification column. The modifications column allows you to add, if I double click, so it's editable, to add formulas, so PHP formulas or whatever, so you can modify the information whilst it's exported. For example, if I'm just going to add a new field for prices, for example, price excluding tax. I will export the prices excluding tax that exist on my shop. But if my goal is to add, for example, 5% of these prices to then modify that by importing the file afterwards, instead of adding that formula in my file once it's exported, I can ask Store Commander to do that whilst exporting by adding a formula here. So it's really easy. Sebastian added the link.
The link, yeah.
I'm just
the guide.
Yes, here we go. I'm just going to show you here.
You need to go down.
That's the other one.
Yep. If you go down, you can see it.
Oh, yeah. No.
It is in the
Modifying the
related ones.
export is, so if I do a calculation, there are three articles
Yep.
that you can use, but you see here, you can add a formula so that I can, like if I take this one, for example, this formula will add 10% to the price excluding tax of my products. So again, that will save you time because you don't have to do that once you export the file. We will do that whilst we export. So the file will be clean once it's exported. So you can rename the columns, you can add formulas. So formulas are, for example, to modify prices, but you can do that on quantity. You can do that on a different field, but mainly on prices. And there's another one, you can use, which is a beautiful formula for me, is the do not export formula, which is used as a filtering tool. For example, if I want to export all the products, but only the ones associated to a specific manufacturer, I will use in a column manufacturer a formula to say, please export only the products that are already associated to the name of the manufacturer I'm adding in that field. So you don't have to export everything and open your Excel and then filter and then, display only the product associated to that manufacturer. You can do that beforehand in that mapping, in that column, that modifications column, by adding the formula. So there are loads of formulas, of course. In this article, we have some, but not all, of course, because there's like hundreds of them. So if you don't find the formula for your need, again, please do send us a message, and then we will check, and then we'll give you the formula that you need to use on your export. So that will be on that modification here. So again, the goal of that export is really to have like the perfect file at the end once you export. So rename columns, modify, add filtering tools or calculation if you want to modify the prices, for example. And once you've done that, you can export. So that's really, really, really good. One last thing I didn't say either is that you can reorganize your columns because you can add little by little. I'm just thinking, oh, I just need the barcode. So I can add to it, and I want the barcode, which is the EAN 13 code. But on my file, I want it just after the name. So you can rearrange the column as well within the mapping, so you don't have to do it afterwards once the file is exported.
And if I can add something, there's one thing I'd like to stress, which is the exported file name, as it requires, the extension at the end. You need to put .csv. Otherwise, you would not be able to download the CSV file.
I think if I don't add it, it's added automatically since last update, Sebastian.
Beautiful.
Yes, because a lot of times you don't add a CSV extension, and then of course we can't open the file because there is no extension. So that was a problem. But to simplify all that now, it was last month's update. This is done automatically. So whether you add it or not, it's done.
Wonderful.
So there you go. So it's just, we're so used to like having to put the CSV. That's why Sebastian is mentioning it, but you don't have to anymore. Well, you can, of course, but if you don't, then we'll do it for you. Don't worry.
Amazing. I didn't know that.
We learn something every day.
Yep. Exactly. Thank you very much, Sonia.
Thank you, Store Commander developers. So you can do a specific export by choosing the field that you want to export. But if you're migrating, you want to export all fields, but you're not going to add them one by one, because like if I double click the list, there are quite a few fields. So we're not going to make you add those fields one by one, of course. What we're going to be doing, so if I create a new script, I'm going to call it migration, for example. So in this migration, so again, I'm not going to add the fields one by one. We're going to facilitate that process with this icon, where you're going to be loading all the fields that will be used to import on the other PrestaShop version. if you're in 1.6 and you're moving on to 1.7 or even 8, load all fields. I click, and I've got all my fields already included in all languages, because of course I've got multiple languages. So I've got everything: description, prices, quantity, images, descriptions, SEO, everything. Manufacturers, SEO information, I don't know, I'm repeating myself, but everything, reductions as well. You have supplier information, you have all the fields that will be required to be recreated on your new PrestaShop version. So of course, if you don't want to, you can remove the fields that you don't want to export, but it's always good to have all the fields, and then you can do a little bit of cleanup if there are information you don't want. But use this icon here to load all the fields for import. There is another option here. I'm just gonna refresh here. So I didn't save it, so of course it disappeared. The other option is this one, which is all fields. So it's like all the fields in the list, because of course we can export data that can be used to re-import afterwards. But we also have fields that are not used to be imported. Okay, they are like calculated fields. If I click on it to show you, so like I've got everything, all the fields on the list, and there are fields that you don't actually need to import, but it's just to do some statistics, for example, because we have the last order, we have an order date, and we have calculated fields like the margins. If I scroll down, because it's quite a lot, last order, you see the last order date, so we can export the date of the last order of that product. So that's not a field that you can import, but it's just informational. And it's the same with all the margin. That's not a field either that you can import because it's calculated field, but you can export it. And you have also the stock values. So I think it's at the bottom of the list. Stock value. It will be at the top. Here we go. So we got stock value as well with reduction, with so it's the quantity and the prices. So same again as calculated fields, so you can't import them, but you can extract them. So that other one will be everything. So be careful if you have a lot of information on your shop. There will be a lot of columns in your file, but it's a possibility. So we give you the possibility to export everything on your product. And again, you can decide not to, so you can remove that field if you want. All of these, I can do a multi-selection, of course, to remove, or to untick as well if I want to keep it in the mapping but not export it. So there are multiple possibilities for you to really configure your mapping to your needs. So very, very useful. So please do use it. Please do send us message if need be, and also go onto our website to check the articles and the possibility. I think like there's a help icon here that will send you directly to the to export category on our knowledge base. So there's quite a lot of things that you can do already.
Thank you very much, Sonia.
That's all right. I don't know whether you have any questions or...
Yes, we do have one from Claire.
Okay.
And she asks, can the CSV exports be automated? I believe it is a yes.
It certainly can be once you have configured your export. So you've got everything on that line. Everything that's on that line is saved. So a little bit of technical information. It's saved on a file, and this file can be used on an automated cron task. So you can indeed set up a cron task on your server to automate your export. So every Friday at 2 o'clock or something like this, whatever you need, you can indeed automate your export. I think Sebastian will add, of course, the knowledge base article onto the chat.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Sorry. And we do have another question from Laura. and she wants to know if we can add custom fields to the CSV export tool.
The answer is yes, you can. By default, we have all the native fields of PrestaShop, but if you have custom fields, you can indeed add to the list using our tool called Interface Customization Pro version. There's a classic version, which is like native fields, but you've got a pro version where you can add custom fields to Store Commander. So you can add to the interface, to the export tool and the import tool. So the answer is yes, you can. Thank you, Laura. Is there any other questions, Sebastian, or can I move on to the orders maybe?
There is another question, again from Laura, and she wants to know if we can export specific prices of our products through the CSV export file tool. Sorry.
No. So within the you cannot the specific prices are not available in a CSV export because there's like you can have multiple specific prices to product with like different criteria, etc. So it's very complicated, and you will have like a file that won't be used anyway. So not very useful. To export your specific prices, we have a dedicated interface here, or you can. If I go to the right-hand side, specific prices, you also have the CSV export here. So you can, hold on, I don't have any specific prices here. Let me select my products. Okay, now I've got all the specific prices of multiple products selected, and I can simply copy and paste to Excel. So this is the way to export specific prices, either on properties, on the property on the right-hand side, or we have a dedicated panel here for specific prices, where you can have all the specific prices of your shop, and then same again, filter to and before exporting onto a spreadsheet.
Thank you very much. I believe that answers your question, Laura. And we've got a new one from Maite, and she wants to know if we can export our products descriptions.
If we can export product description?
Yep.
Yeah, of course, we can. The description, if I go back to the export within the fields, yeah, you've got the description, the long description as we call it, and the short one, which is the top description you have on your product page. You can.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, Sonia.
You're welcome. We have Boris as well.
Yep. In the chat, I believe. Let me see.
Yes, it's in the chat. I've got the chat open. Another question. Yeah.
And so Boris wants to know if we offer ready-made export templates for Google Shopping, Bing, Idealo, and others platforms.
I'm afraid not, Boris, because we did think about it a few years ago, but all these platforms keep changing their requirements. So if we had a template made for Google Shopping, for example, we would need to know on a daily basis if they change something so we can adapt ourselves. So it's very time consuming. So we don't have ready-made template, but with the export, you can create your own template that you could create just once. So once you create it as a mapping, the mapping is saved. So you don't need to recreate every time you need to export to provide to Google Shopping, for example. Just create it once. And if you want to automate it, you can add that cron task. So it's exported every Friday or Tuesday or whatever, at what time. But you only do it once. So, and you can use, of course, all the option in the column name, because of your Google Shopping, Bing, Idealo, etc. will have the different names for their fields, and you can also use the modifications to modify the prices that you have on your PrestaShop to adapt to Google Shopping, Bing, Idealo, etc. But we don't have ready-made template because they just change all the time, and it's better for you if you will have your Google Shopping account and Google Shopping will tell you, well, that field is not called SKU anymore, it's called reference. So, and then you go back to Store Commander and you change SKU here by ref, for example. It's easier for you to do rather than us maintaining a template on a daily basis. So that's better to do it yourself here, but that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other questions, Sebastian, on the products, so we can move on to the orders, maybe?
I believe we can move on to the orders.
Excellent. So this is the catalog, so I can move on to the orders interface. If I click on orders, so we can swap to the order interface. Same again as product, the 3 columns, and we've got different type of views here, so you can also customize your views. And again, we have the copy and paste here. So same as the product, you have the copy paste of your panels. If you want a custom export, this is where we go into the CSV export orders. So the interface has got those 3 columns again, and you've got 4 tabs. So you've got the dashboard. It's a little bit like with the product, but you need to select you need to create a filter to say, I want to take all the orders of my shop that have specific criteria, like the creation date. So I need to export orders from that date to that date. We have different type of filters here, okay, like the order status. Once you have done your filtering list, then you've got a template, which is similar to the mapping we've just talked about. This is the fields you want to export. So we've got all the export fields, all the amounts. So it's really easy and very useful if you want to do any accountings, because you have all the totals of orders. You can eventually add order details, so product details, product information that are in your orders. So product name or manufacturers, quantity, etc. You can add customer information, because an order is from a customer, so you can add the customer information as well, and delivery and invoice address. So there's lots of fields as well that you can add to your export file, either to do statistics or do your calculated fields here, your accounting, because on calculated fields as well, you can export credit notes information and VAT breakdown. So mainly for your accounting. So once you've set up a filter list, a template, then when you go back on the dashboard, this is where you create again, so the plus to add your export. And again, we have the list of all the filtering tools, filtering list you've been creating. So you can select Black Friday, for example, and the templates, you have them here. So we're going to take the Super New SB here. The name of the file, you can change it as well. Select your language. Again, I've got multiple language on my shop, so I'm just doing it in English. And then you export here. That column shows you a preview. So it's not all the information, but a preview of the information, because it's limited to 100 results. So it's only a preview. And then you can click the export here, and you will have your file and the history, of course, here. So it's very easy as well. It's the same principle where you have to set up one filter to take into account orders with specific information like dates, order statuses, where there's lots of different options, and then the template, which includes the fields you want to have in your file. And then that's where on the dashboard, you double click to select the list, to select within the list that you already created before. So it's very simple as well. Same again, first tab, second tab, and then you come back to the dashboard to run the your export. And the last tab is the automation. So same as the CSV export product, you can add a cron task to your export. So you can automate your export as well if you want to export that file every Friday, for example, for your accounting, or every month, whichever, you can also automate it.
Thank you very much, Sonia. I've got a question myself.
Yes.
And I believe it is interesting. Let's say we have custom fields in our orders interface.
Mm-hmm.
Can we add them to the order export tool as well?
So you can add it to the order interface at the back in Store Commander using that that same tool, Interface Customization Pro.
Yep.
On the other hand, if you need to add any fields, that would be on the template here, any fields here, then you will need to contact us because this is not available within your Store Commander. It will be our developers team to be adding that to your shop specifically. So send us a message, either use the support email or directly the little chat here. So, but that's not automatic.
Mm-hmm. But it is possible.
But it's possible, yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, completely,
cool.
Completely. Yeah. So same again, take a look at all the fields that you have on your Store Commander. If you want to test it, you can always use that demo that we talked about at the beginning of the webinar if you wanted to test this tool. It's accessible in the orders menu here, CSV export. And we also have exactly the same, but for customers. So if I swap to the customers interface here, same principle when we have the 3 columns. We've got different type of views. You can create your own views, same again with the interface customization, modify the existing, create your own, modify, etc. And the goal is to be able to use the quick export option again, copy paste onto Excel very quickly, very easy, and very flexible. And the same again, we can find that quick export in different views on the right hand side in the properties panel. And again, if you want to be more specific by creating an export on customers data, we have the same as the order, the CSV export under the customers menu. Sorry. Same again, we've got a dashboard when we have everything that already exists. If I double click to show the drop down menu, set up your filters. So that would be slightly different information from the orders, of course, but you can export all information that are registered to the newsletter, for example, or you can do by the interesting one is the date, the birthday. Where's the birthday? There, the birthday. If you want to export all customers that are born in April, for example, because in April you have you're going to do a promotional campaign. So you can, send information to these customers only. So you can filter by using the the birth date here, the filtering. The template, so the fields you want to export. So same again, we've got all the customer fields, address fields, and just a few order fields. So it's just the, it's in French. I need to swap that to English. So you can select also all the fields you want to export, so the equivalent of the mapping. And once you've done that, back on the dashboard, this is where you create a new export, and you select the filters, the template, select your language, give a name. Well, there's no data corresponding. I'm just going to take this one. You got the preview, and then you export. And then you've got your file here. So very simple, a filter list, a template list that you select on the dashboard before exporting. And same again, we've got the automation tab if you want to automate your the export that you set up previously. Same principle as the orders.
And very easy steps, no? Like 3 steps, completely. More or less?
Yeah. The steps are, of course, again, on a knowledge base, and we have the tutorial to help you go through all the steps. But it's quite simple. We try to make it simple. If it's not simple, again, send us a message. We can go through that with you if need be.
Yep, and I did send the tutorials in the chat, so everyone can have a look at it.
Perfect, Sebastian. Thank you. So you can export all your product information. So So either the quick export or the specific with the CSV export. Same with the orders and the customers. So you have all the export tools that you need on your PrestaShop store. So I'm not sure. I think I reviewed everything, if I'm not mistaken, Sebastian.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. Otherwise, we can always have a look at the PowerPoint.
Yeah. Well, I've had it on the question sign,
yep.
but I think I did. I just go back to that. So the product catalog, the order data, and the customer data as well. So I think we do. We have reviewed everything. So we've had the questions on the products. Are there any questions on the other subjects? I haven't checked.
So far, no. There's no questions.
Okay.
Therefore, I believe everything is very clear.
Perfect.
You did a good job, Sonia.
Thank you very much for your participation. So, and the last one, we're just going to move on to the last slide. So, again, thank you for coming. We'll see you in 2024 for the next webinar in English. But again, don't hesitate to send us a message. You've got the contact information on that slide. The email support@storecommander.com. We've also got a phone number, which is also on our website, of course. And again, the little chat on either within your Store Commander and on our website and the knowledge base as well. So please don't hesitate to give us a call or send us a message if you need any information or if you're having any issues, whatever. We also have we always have Sebastian and Maite and myself to look after you.
Exactly.
And we have, of course, the social networks. Don't hesitate to follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. to follow the Store Commander news, because we do go to a lot of events on the e-commerce events. I think the last was the Tech Retail in Paris. So don't hesitate to follow us on the social networks. And I think, have I missed something?
Nope. Everything is fine. There is no questions.
Okay.
So I believe we can just cut now.
Okay.
And wish everyone.
Yep. Sorry, Sebastian, carry on.
No, I just wanted to wish everyone, a happy new year, because we will not see them until 2024, I guess. So.
And a Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas as well. Yeah. That's correct. First Christmas.
That's right.
Then New Year.
Yeah, and New Year will be after. So indeed, this is the last of the English webinar, and we'll see you back in 2024 with more webinars, more information. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.